I just saw a UPS guy come up to my door. Bye, dude. Sad, dude. I hope he didn't see my face or didn't see that I was recording a video. It was a little embarrassing. Hey guys, it's Good Stuff and welcome back to another storytime video. And today, well technically tomorrow when I upload this, is the anniversary of the fight. A year ago, my friend Ron got in a fight with Sid. Those are fake names if you couldn't tell. I don't know if they want me to talk about this. I didn't ask for their consent. Yeah, so we're just gonna tell the story from my perspective because it was quite the event. It was the week of January 20th or 30th, and there was just a lot of hype, okay, for this fight. I feel like majority of people didn't even know like what the fight was for, but essentially I believe Sid was talking about Ron behind his back, and they were just like, okay, let's have a fight. So it was like a simple excuse for a fight, from what I remember. Honestly, in the comments, my little schoolmates like correct me if I'm wrong. There's something of that deal. So there was a lot of hype for it. I believe blue was blue and red. Whoops, I just spoiled the name. Was blue Sid and Ron red? I believe I wore blue. I don't remember, but there was like colors, like team colors on who you wanted to win. My friend Dylan, he was advertising it a lot. It was the Friday that the thing happened. He wore a blue shirt and had like put a piece of paper on his shirt and that said like win. I think he was really, I keep spoiling the name. It had like a piece of paper that said like go Sid and stuff like that. From what I remember, somebody made a joke about it being just like a thumb war fight. And I was like, funny. I made myself think that it was just, oh, it's a thumb fight or whatever, but I knew it was a real fight. So like we're like, Mom, we're going to a fight. And I was like, yeah, it's gonna be a thumb war fight. It's like a big deal, but like it's a joke. And then like we go and it's like real, and I feel we knew deep down that it was real. I don't know, it was a long time ago. A lot of people were like, oh, I'm gonna go, oh, I'm not gonna go. Me and Beth are gonna go to this thing. It was within walking distance from my house. We go through our backyard and we like go to like the main road. Then we had to cross like the road to get to the other side. We bump into these guys that I call their group the Cult. They call my group the Cult, so it's fine. And I was like, oh my god, Beth, it's the Cult. And that was my first time like in contact with them. They're just a group of guys. And so we bump into them and we're like, are you guys going to the fight? And they're like, yeah. And so we kind of like started walking there together because we don't know exactly where it is. And so they apparently, Drew was telling them to meet at his house and then they'd all walk together. We walk like a good like 8-10 minutes to Drew's house and he's not freaking there. We're just trying to get to this thing. And then Drew's like on the phone and he gives us like directions. We're like waiting for Drew to low-key like come back while we're also trying to meet him. We're just having a struggle trying to find it because it was at this like a house, but I'll explain it when we get there. So we were lost and we were stressed because we're like, this thing is going to start. We're kind of walking through the neighborhood. Then we meet up with Drew because he finally runs back to us. And then he's like, guys, it's about to begin. We all start booking it to the fight. We go in between this house and then there's like a low-key forest and then we come out to an opening and it's like this neighborhood like lake with like a fountain and all these houses are like lined up around the lake. We see like somewhat across the lake is all these guys, and so then we're like running because they said it was just about to begin. So we get there and we're all circled around Sid and Ron, and then they begin. Like basically the second we got there they started fighting and I was like, we came here on freaking time, okay? I don't know if I'm gonna insert a clip because I just don't know, but I did get live footage of it. It was like a physical fight, but they're both kind of like wimpy and like skinny. It was like low-key, but it was like funny. Me and Beth happened to be the only 2 girls there. It was kind of weird. I felt really insecure. I was like, I'm like the only girl here. And it was just a bunch of guys that I knew, and then a bunch of seniors for some reason. I'm a sophomore, so we were freshmen last year. A bunch of seniors went, and I was like, who the frick are you? Do you even know who these people are? It was on like a slight hill down to the lake, so it was kind of on a hill, and so they were kind of falling down the hill. I really wanted them to fall into the lake, but they never did. But essentially, they're just fighting, and everyone's like, oh! It was funny, whatever. Across the lake, this guy starts yelling from his house, and he's like, hey! He comes, and he starts walking, like, around the lake, and starts walking towards us. And it's like, hey, break it up! We're gonna call the police! Like, because this is a fight. And so he kept yelling at us and was like, stop this, stop them. And this is the funniest part. Me, Beth, and Jack, we're all seeing this guy, and half the people don't see him, and we're like, wait, there's a guy walking over here. Drew comes to us, and we're like half walking from the way we came. Like I said, we came from like a totally different area where everybody else just like parked in front of this guy's house that they were fighting behind. So we start walking the way we came, and Drew's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, there's a freaking guy coming over here yelling at us to break it up. Drew didn't freaking hear us. And next thing I know, I see, as we're walking away, because we see the guy coming, all I see is like all the guys, this group of people watching the fight, finally see the guy, and they just run up that freaking hill and go through the house, back out to the front of the house. This was in a backyard, so they go back to the front of the house, and they're getting in their cars, they're just like going everywhere. By the way, this is the most smart idea I've ever heard of. So everybody went the way where there was a street and cars, and so everybody came in their cars, and I was like, you dumb. Me, Beth, and Jack, we went the way where nobody would see us. We started walking away, and, you know, it was really funny because Ron and Sid were still fighting, and the guy was still walking over there, and everybody was gone, and they were still fighting. Because me, Beth, and Jack were the only people that went around the lake while everybody went into the neighborhood. I feel like I need to draw this out. So we were the last people like still in a range to like look at them, and all I remember is Ron like picking up his head and like seeing the guy, and then they like broke up and then they started running. Oh my goodness. That meant that everybody was gone. We just ran back into like the other coldest, like we were just like traveling through houses. That's when we stopped running. Just kind of like taking a breather. We're like, okay. We like start walking kind of like the way that we came back through the neighborhoods. We're walking, and then gradually some of the cult members that we walked to the thing with ended up like finding us, because they were like the only other people that didn't take a car there, so they just kind of caught up with us, and they're like, oh my god, because they were running too, kind of chilling. We're like, oh my god, what just happened? In the moment, you're like, oh my god, you're running for your life, because authority, it felt cooler than it probably was. The cult members started talking. They're like, oh my god, there was cameras. Apparently neighbors knew about this fight. So there was this woman in front of the guy's house that was having the fight, and she had like her camera out, and she was like trying to record faces of all the guys running through, trying to get to their cars. So she had her camera out and was recording people, and I guess she called the cops also. Drew, what a guy. He was on survival mode, and he had a hoodie on, and so he saw it, and he covered himself with like the hoodie, so when he was running past her, she didn't get his face. Shout out to Drew for having those survival skills. I wasn't there, so I don't know fact, but I believe also some of the neighbors parked in the road so that nobody could get out. I was freaking laughing. I was like, you guys should have came our way, because literally we just like went to a whole different neighborhood. There's no connection. Like nobody would have known that we were freaking there because we didn't bring a car. They're telling us all of this stuff, and then we're like, where's freaking Ron? Because we're friends with Ron, even though I was rooting for Sid, because I don't know. We're like walking back near Drew's house where we got originally lost at. That's when Luke and Ron, I feel bad I'm not changing everyone else's names, but I felt like the people that were in the fight might not want me to spell their name, so I'm not gonna tell their name. Ron and Luke were coming. Luke was kind of freaking out, and the reason why is because he used to have this tractor. Like, he didn't have like a car because we were like freshmen, but like he had this tractor because he's like a total redneck. He drove his tractor there that like is not fast at all. I don't know why he drove it there, but he ended up getting a ride with one of the seniors, so that's how he got out of there, like, dumb. But the problem is, on the side of his tractor, he, like, has a business and everything. On the side of his tractor had, like, all of his business information, so, like, that was, like, clearly out there, and he's like, frick, the cops, because the cops were called. I don't know if the lady called it. I don't even know. Luke was scared because he was like, my information's out there. The cops are gonna catch me for being there. They didn't end up catching him. Then we're just kind of like all talking, like reflecting, and Ron's like freaking out because he just got in a fight and it just went to like craziness. All I remember is that it was literally one of the craziest moments of my life, because in the moment, my adrenaline was freaking pumping. I was like, haha, running from the police, you know? I felt rebellious and cool. Yeah. Luke did end up going back for his tractor. It made it. I don't know why he drove it all the way there. It's like 2 miles per hour. Baby, you know! Sorry, my cat tried to jump on something and it didn't work. I remember Luke was just so stressed out about this whole thing, and I was just kind of laughing there, and he gets up close to my face. He's like, Stephanie, do not upload a story time video about this, because we were like scared of cops and like all this stuff. Ha, in your face, I'm recording it now. It's really not a big deal anymore. I just felt for probably 2 weeks, I felt so cool, by the way. I was like, me and Beth were the only 2 girls there. Like, I have live footage because I recorded some of it. Everybody's like, I want to see a video, and I was like, I freaking have it. I like told the story. I was like, we ran the other way. We were so smart. And I was like, Luke left his tractor, the cops. So I just felt like really cool for a little while. Dylan, that needs an explanation. So Dylan was so into advertising this thing, but then his grandparents didn't let him go. We walked to his house and we like told him the story, and we were like, ah! He was like glad he didn't go because he's Dylan. He hates, like, he doesn't want to get in trouble ever. He was glad he didn't go because of that, but also like he totally missed out, so sucks. I don't know, the hype was just so real for the next 2 weeks. That's essentially the story. It was just like a lot of adrenaline. As I'm telling it, it's probably not as cool, but it was my first time witnessing a fight, as you could tell by the title. It was eventful. It was kind of lame and funny, but like when you're running from authority, I'd say it's fun. That's about it. I hope you guys like this story time. Be sure to like and comment down below on this video. The first link in my description is my merch. Go check it out, and I suggest you sign up for Redbubble's mailing list to get deals through emails. All of my social medias are also below, so if you want to check that out. And if you're too lazy to do that, then just add me anywhere at CootSteph, the same way it's spelled here. And if you're not already a Cootie, be sure to subscribe to be a part of the Coot Clan. And I will see you guys in next Friday's video. Bye!